Have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling moments after waking up, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders? Imagine for a moment if every morning could be different. What if, upon opening your eyes, you were flooded with a sense of purpose so strong that it would make your heart vibrate? Think about it. Peace that surpasses all understanding, unwavering faith like a rock in the midst of a storm. Sounds like a distant dream. Well, what if I told you that the key to unlocking this transformative power is closer than you think? You know that moment right after the alarm goes off, when you're still groggy from sleep. That's exactly where the secret lies. Yes, you guessed it. It's in the simple act of praying. But wait, before you think, oh, is that all? Let me ask you, when was the last time you really prayed? Not that mechanical prayer, you know. I'm talking about a genuine conversation, heart to heart, with the creator of the universe. Imagine starting each day like this. How would your life be if, even before checking your phone notifications, you connected your spirit to the source of all wisdom and love? The question is, are you ready for this transformation? Because believe me, once you experience the power of waking up with purpose, it's impossible to go back. And the best part, it all starts with a simple decision, prioritizing prayer. But how exactly do you do that? And why is it so powerful? Well, get ready, because we're about to dive deeper into this topic. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I get that prayer is important, but who really has time for that early in the morning? Well, let me tell you about someone who had the most important job in the universe and still made prayer his number one priority. Have you heard of a certain carpenter from Nazareth? Yes, I'm talking about Jesus Christ. Just imagine, the Son of God himself, with miracles to perform, crowds to teach, and a world to save. Guess what he did even before the sun rose? In Mark 1:35, we find a fascinating glimpse into Jesus' routine. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Did you notice that? Before dawn, when most of us are still hugging our pillows, Jesus was already up, seeking a moment alone with the Father. Now, think about it. If Jesus himself, with all his power and divinity, felt the need to start the day in prayer, what does that say about us? If the Master of Masters prioritized this time of spiritual connection, shouldn't we, mere mortals, follow his example? But wait a minute. Maybe you're wondering, how can I make prayer the foundation of my life when I can barely remember to have breakfast? It's a valid question. After all, our lives are busy, full of commitments and distractions. What if I told you that's exactly why we need this moment of prayer more than ever? What if, instead of seeing prayer as just another task on your list, you viewed it as the foundation that supports all other areas of your life? Imagine building your life on this unshakable foundation. How would your day be knowing that, just like Jesus, you started connected to the source of all wisdom and strength? What challenges would you face with more courage? What decisions would you make with more clarity? The question that remains is, are we willing to follow the Master's example, ready to make prayer not just a habit, but the very foundation of our lives? And if you're wondering how to take this step, how to transform your life through prayer, don't worry. We're about to explore the true power behind this seemingly simple act. Let's talk about something many of us have heard about, but few truly understand: the power of prayer. Have you ever stopped to think about what really happens when we join our hands and close our eyes? Is it just a ritual, a habit we repeat without really understanding why? Let me challenge that idea for a moment. What if I told you that every time you pray, you're actually activating a direct line to the creator of the universe. Sounds too incredible to be true. Think about it. In a world where we struggle to get cell phone signal in some places, there's a connection that never fails, never goes out of range. It's like having a direct phone to God's office, and guess what? He always answers on the first ring. But maybe you're thinking, okay, I get the idea, but so what? How does this help me when I am drowning in worries and anxieties? Great question. This is where Philippians 4:2-6 comes in, a true manual on how to deal with anxiety. The verse tells us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Did you notice the twist? Here, instead of drowning in worries, we're invited to do something revolutionary. Take everything to God in prayer. Just imagine that bill you don't know how you're going to pay, that medical diagnosis that scares you, that difficult decision you need to make. What if, instead of carrying all this alone, you could share the burden with someone infinitely more powerful? But attention, there's a crucial detail here. Notice that the verse mentions thanksgiving. This changes everything, doesn't it? It's not just about pouring out our worries, but doing so with a grateful heart. How can this change your perspective on the problems you face? Now, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you really opened your heart in prayer, sharing your deepest anxieties with God? What if you did that right now? How would it be to start seeing prayer not as an empty ritual, but as a transformative conversation with God Himself? The power of prayer is within your reach. The line is open. The connection is clear. The question is, are you ready to make the call? And if you're wondering how this direct communication with God can really change your everyday life, get ready. We're about to explore how prayer can guide us and give us unwavering confidence amidst life's challenges. Have you ever felt completely lost, as if you were in a maze with no way out? Now imagine having an infallible guide, someone who knows not just the way, but also the perfect destination for you. Sounds too good to be true. Well, that's exactly what Proverbs 3:5-6 offers us. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Wow. Let's unpack this for a moment. Okay, first, trust with all your heart. We're not talking about partial trust here. It's a headfirst dive. But let's be honest. How difficult can this be sometimes? Especially when everything around us seems to be falling apart, right? And here comes the really challenging part. Lean not on your own understanding. Wait, what? Not trusting our own intelligence, our carefully constructed logic. This goes against everything the world teaches us. But what if that's exactly the point? Think about it. How many times have your perfectly crafted plans gone wrong? How many times have you been absolutely certain about something only to discover that you were completely mistaken? Here's the twist. Submit to Him in all your ways, not just in times of crisis, not just on Sunday mornings at church, but in every aspect of your life, at work, in relationships, in day-to-day decisions. What would it be like to live like this? And the promise, He will make your paths straight. Imagine having the certainty that no matter how winding the path may seem, there's someone straightening it for you. What kind of confidence would that give you to face life's challenges? But let's be practical for a moment. How do you really apply this in your daily life? How do you trust God when everything seems uncertain? How do you acknowledge Him amidst the chaos of modern life? What if I told you that the answer lies in prayer? Not an occasional prayer, but a constant conversation a continuous acknowledgement of God's presence in every aspect of your life. Imagine starting each day not with anxiety about what's to come, but with unwavering confidence that your steps are being directed. How would this change your decisions, your attitude, your inner peace? The question that remains is, are you ready to let go of the reins of control and truly trust God? Are you willing to acknowledge Him not just in the big moments, but in every detail of your journey? And if you're wondering how this trust in God can transform not just your path, but your very perspective on life, stay tuned. We're about to explore how prayer can radically change the way we see the world around us. Have you ever imagined wearing a pair of magical glasses that could completely change the way you see the world? Well, what if I told you that you already possess this incredible tool? I'm talking about prayer, a powerful lens that has the potential to radically transform our perspective on everything. Think for a moment. How do you usually react when things go wrong? Frustration, anger, despair? What if there was a way to look at these same situations and see opportunities, lessons, even blessings in disguise? This is where the magic of prayer comes into play. We're not just talking about asking things from God. We're talking about a profound transformation that begins in your heart and spreads to every aspect of your life. Imagine waking up in the morning and, instead of worrying about the endless list of tasks, your first thought is one of gratitude. Gratitude for the new day, for your comfortable bed, for the air in your lungs. Seems simple, doesn't it? But the impact can be revolutionary. What about that situation at work that's keeping you up at night? What if, through prayer, you could see it not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity for growth, as a chance to witness God's love and mercy in action? But let's be honest for a moment. Changing our perspective isn't easy, right? Especially when we're in the eye of the hurricane, facing challenges that seem insurmountable. How can we really see God's love amidst the chaos? The answer lies in the consistent practice of prayer, not as an empty ritual, but as an intimate conversation with the Creator. It's in this dialogue that we begin to tune our hearts to God's heart, and when we do that, something amazing happens. We begin to see things as He sees them. Imagine facing that unexpected bill not with panic, but with the certainty that God provides, or dealing with that family conflict not with bitterness, but with compassion and understanding. How would this change your reactions, your decisions, your level of inner peace? Prayer has the power to fill our hearts with a joy that transcends circumstances, a joy that doesn't depend on what's happening around us, but on what's happening within us. So the question is, are you ready to put on these spiritual glasses, ready to see the world through the lens of God's love and mercy? What would your life be like if you started each day not just praying, but truly changing your perspective? And if you're wondering how to make prayer a constant priority amidst the hustle and bustle of daily life, don't worry. We're about to explore how we can make prayer not just a habit, but a transformative lifestyle. Imagine for a moment that your life is like a house. Each room represents a different area: work, relationships, health, dreams. Now, what if I told you there's a special room in this house, a room that, when used correctly, has the power to transform all the other rooms? This room is prayer, but not just any room, closed and dusty. No, we're talking about a living, pulsating space that breathes along with you. A place where the walls whisper eternal truths, like the words of 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. But what does it really mean to pray without ceasing? Should we spend the entire day on our knees, ignoring our responsibilities? Or is there a deeper meaning, a way of living in constant communion with the divine? Think about this. What if each breath could be a prayer, each step an act of gratitude, each challenge an opportunity to connect with something greater than yourself? Now imagine making space in your packed schedule, in your busy mind, for moments of quietness and reflection. What would happen if, instead of reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, you dedicated the first minutes of the day to prayer? How would this change the tone of your 24 hours? But here's the secret that many don't realize. Prioritizing prayer isn't just about talking. It's about listening. It's creating a space where the divine can move, where miracles can happen. It's as if you're opening the windows of your soul, allowing the fresh breeze of God's love to circulate through every corner of your life. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have an unshakable peace, even in the midst of chaos? Why some decisions seem to be guided by a wisdom that goes beyond human understanding? The secret may lie in the priority they give to prayer. When we make prayer our priority, we're not just fulfilling a religious duty. We're actually tuning our frequency to the divine. We're saying, God, I trust you to guide my steps, to illuminate my path. And here's the most exciting part. When we create this space, when we make prayer our priority, we're essentially inviting the supernatural into our everyday lives. We're opening the doors for God to work in ways we can't even imagine. So the question that remains is, are you ready to make prayer your priority? Ready to see how this simple change can revolutionize every aspect of your life? Because believe me, when you give God first place, everything else falls into its proper place. What if today was the day you decided to transform your inner house, making the prayer room the beating heart of everything you are and do? What could happen if you accepted this challenge? Have you ever wondered if your prayers are really heard? If there's someone on the other side of the universe paying attention to the whispers of your heart? Imagine for a moment that each prayer you make is like a message in a bottle, cast into the vast ocean of existence. Now, what if I told you that not only does this message reach its destination, but that an answer is on its way? In Matthew 7:7, we find a powerful promise, almost hard to believe in its simplicity. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. But what does this really mean for us, here and now, amidst the complexities of modern life? Think about it. Every time you pray, it's as if you're knocking on the door of the universe. Not a timid, hesitant knock, but a confident one, full of expectation, and on the other side of that door, the Creator Himself, eager to connect with you. But here's the secret that many miss. Prayer is not a transaction. It's not simply making requests and waiting for them to be fulfilled. It's the beginning of a dialogue, the start of a journey of discovery. When we ask, we're not just requesting things, we're expressing our deepest desires, our most sincere hopes. And when we seek, that's where the adventure really begins. We seek not just answers, but understanding. We seek not just solutions, but wisdom. It's as if each prayer were a step in an epic journey, taking us closer and closer to the heart of the Heavenly Father. Have you ever stopped to think about what happens when we cultivate a relationship through prayer? It's like watering a plant every day. At first, it may seem like nothing is happening, but over time, deep roots form, and what was once just a seed becomes a robust tree, capable of withstanding life's storms. But here's the question that challenges us all. Are we really ready for the answers we ask for? Because sometimes the answer we receive is not the one we expected. Sometimes, instead of changing our situation, God chooses to change us. What if each prayer was an opportunity not just to speak, but to listen. What if, in the silence after our words, we could hear the whispers of the divine, guiding us, comforting us, challenging us to grow? The promise of answers is not just about getting what we want. It's about discovering what we really need. It's about learning to trust, even when we don't understand. It's about developing a faith that sees beyond circumstances, that sees the loving hand of a Father in every detail of life. So the question that remains is, are you ready to take this promise seriously? Ready to ask boldly, to seek passionately, and knock persistently? Because when we do this, we're not just praying, we're participating in a cosmic dance with the divine, a journey of discovery that has the power to transform not just our circumstances, but our very essence. What if today was the day you decided to take your prayer life to a new level? What could happen if you truly believe that every prayer is heard, every search is rewarded, and every door in due time will open? Imagine for a moment that you possess a magic key, a key capable of opening doors you didn't even know existed, a key that can transform the ordinary into extraordinary, the common into sacred. This key, my friend, is prayer, but we're not talking about just any prayer. We're talking about a connection so deep, so intimate with the divine, that it has the power to rewrite the script of your life. It's as if, with every word whispered in prayer, you were weaving a golden thread into the tapestry of your existence. Think about this. What if every morning, even before the sun rises, you could connect with the source of all creation? What if, before facing the challenges of the day, you could bathe in the presence of the eternal? How would this change your perspective, your attitude, your very being? Prayer is not just a tool, it's a portal that transports us from the limited reality of our daily lives to the infinite vastness of the spiritual realm. It's through this portal that we experience God's presence in a tangible way, that we feel His provision even in moments of scarcity, that we wrap ourselves in His protection like a mantle of love. But here's the challenge. In a world that values productivity above all else, that bombards us with notifications from the moment we wake up, how can we make prayer our first priority? What if I told you that this decision to put prayer first has the power to completely redefine the tone of your day? Imagine waking up and, instead of immediately checking your messages or worrying about your to-do list, you dedicated the first moments to communion with God. What would happen? It's like tuning an instrument before a great performance. By aligning your spirit with the divine right at the start of the day, you establish a frequency of peace that resonates in every interaction, every decision, every moment. But make no mistake, making prayer a priority doesn't mean your life will be free from challenges. What changes is the lens through which you see these challenges. It's as if you gain a new perspective, a panoramic view that allows you to see the purpose behind the trials and the blessings. When we make prayer our priority, it's as if we're opening the floodgates of heaven. We're not just talking about material blessings, but an abundance of peace, joy, contentment that transcends circumstances. Think about it. What if each day was an opportunity to experience a miracle? What if, through prayer, you could touch the supernatural and bring it into your everyday life? The question that remains is, are you ready to make this change? Ready to redefine your priorities and put prayer at the top of the list? Because believe me, when you do this, you're not just changing your routine. You're transforming your life, your destiny, your very essence. What if today was the day you decided to make prayer not just a part of your life, but the very foundation on which you build everything else? What could happen if you accepted this challenge? Remember, Prayer is not just something we do, it's who we are. It's our vital connection to the divine, our direct line to the eternal. By making it our priority, we're not just talking to God, we're allowing Him to speak through us, to live through us, to love through us. So, my friend, the choice is yours. Are you ready to embark on this transformative journey? Ready to make prayer not just a practice, but a lifestyle? Because when you do this, you're not just changing your day, you're changing your world. The moment has come, my friend. The moment to step beyond reflection and into action. Imagine yourself on the edge of a precipice, not of danger, but of infinite possibilities. What if I told you that all you need to do is take a step of faith? Here and now, I'm extending you an invitation to dive into the deep waters of prayer. Not a superficial prayer, muttered out of habit, but a prayer that comes from the depths of your soul. Think for a moment. When was the last time you really cried out to God for protection? Not just a casual request, but a cry from the heart, acknowledging your total dependence on Him. What if today was the day you decided to wrap yourself in the mantle of divine protection, trusting that every step you take is guarded by the Most High? But let's go further. What about blessings? Have you ever stopped to think that perhaps God is eagerly waiting to pour out His blessings upon you, just waiting for you to open your hands and heart to receive them? What would happen if you dared to ask not just for enough, but for abundance? Not out of greed, but to be a channel of blessings for others. Now, let me ask you a delicate question. When was the last time you really asked for forgiveness? Not a hasty apology, but a true acknowledgement of the areas in your life that need transformation. Imagine yourself before the throne of grace, stripping away all pride and pretense, and simply saying, "Father, forgive me." And what about the enemy's attacks? My friend, we live in a spiritual battlefield. Each day is a war against forces that want to bring us down, discourage us, push us away from God's love. But what if, instead of fighting alone, you summon the heavenly armies to fight by your side? Imagine raising a shield of prayer around you and your loved ones. Visualize each word of your prayer as an arrow of light, penetrating the darkness, pushing away all evil. But here's the challenge. Are you willing to be vulnerable before God? Willing to expose not just your desires, but your weaknesses? Because it's in our weakness that God's strength is perfected. What if today was the day you decided not just to talk about prayer, but to actually pray like never before? What would happen if you dedicated the next few moments to an intimate encounter with the Creator of the universe? Remember, prayer is not a monologue, it's a dialogue. It's opening not just your mouth, but your heart. It's allowing God not just to hear your words, but to speak to your spirit. So, my friend, the invitation is made. The altar is prepared. The throne of grace is accessible. The question is, are you ready to accept this invitation? Ready to enter the presence of the King of Kings and allow Him to transform not just your day, but your entire life? Because when you pray, you're not just speaking words to the wind. You're moving mountains, you're changing destinies, you're touching the heart of God Himself. What do you say? Are you ready for this journey, a transformation through prayer? Imagine waking up, and the first thing you see is a wonderful gift at the foot of your bed. This gift, it's the new day unfolding before you. Each breath, each beat of your heart, each ray of sun touching your skin. All of this is a miracle, a gift from the Creator. Have you ever stopped to think about how many things had to happen perfectly for you to be here at this exact moment? The protection that kept you safe during the night, the systems in your body working in harmony, the roof over your head. None of this is by chance. And what about provision? Look around you. the food on your table, the clothes you wear, the opportunities that present themselves. Each of these things is a testimony to God's faithfulness. But do we really stop to give thanks, or in the rush of daily life, do we forget to acknowledge the source of all these blessings? Now imagine raising your hands to the sky, not with requests, but with a heart overflowing with gratitude. What would happen if, even before facing the challenges of the day, you took a moment to simply say, "Thank you, Father"? But gratitude is just the beginning. And what about praise? Oh, praise has the power to completely transform our perspective. It's as if, by exalting God's greatness, our worries begin to diminish. Our problems, which once seemed like insurmountable mountains, start to appear as small obstacles before the majesty of the King of Kings. And what about your family? Your loved ones? Think about them for a moment. Every face, every smile, every shared story, all of it is a precious gift. But what if, instead of just worrying about them, we wrap them in prayer? Imagine creating a spiritual shield around those you love. Visualize each word of your prayer as a ray of light, guiding their steps, protecting them from visible and invisible dangers. What would happen if, before leaving the house, you took a moment to invoke divine protection over every member of your family? Think about this. What if every decision your loved ones made was guided by divine wisdom? If every step they took was ordered by the Lord, how would that change not only their day, but the destiny of generations? But here's the challenge. Amidst so many distractions, so many worries, how can we maintain this spirit of gratitude and praise? How can we make interceding for our family not just a task, but a lifestyle? What if today was the day you decided to transform every moment into an opportunity for gratitude, every challenge into a chance for praise, every worrying about your loved ones into a powerful prayer of protection? Remember, when we give thanks, we acknowledge that everything we have comes from God. When we praise, we declare that He is greater than any circumstance. And when we intercede, we become a channel of divine love and protection for those we love. So, my friend, what do you say? Are you ready to embark on this journey of gratitude, praise, and intercession? Ready to see how this simple act can not only transform your day, but eternally impact the lives of those around you? Because when we give thanks, praise, and pray, we're not just speaking words. We are aligning our hearts with the heart of the Father, inviting the supernatural to invade our everyday lives and opening the doors to miracles beyond our imagination. We have reached the end of our journey, but in reality, this is just the beginning. Imagine for a moment that every word spoken so far wasn't just sound dissipating into the air, but seeds being planted in fertile soil. And now, it's time to see those seeds bloom into abundant blessings. You who have listened and opened your heart to this message, know that it wasn't by chance. At this very moment, visualize a rain of blessings pouring over you. Not a light drizzle, but a storm of grace, mercy, and divine favor. May every drop of this heavenly rain touch areas of your life that you didn't even know needed to be reached. May the peace that surpasses all understanding guard your heart and mind. May the joy of the Lord be your strength, even on the most challenging days. May divine wisdom guide you in every decision, big or small. May God's love surround you so completely that it overflows to everyone around you. But what if I told you that you're not just a recipient of these blessings, but a channel for them? Think about it. What if every person who crosses your path today could feel the Lord's touch through your smile, your words, your actions? Now, let me extend a special invitation. This message, this prayer, wasn't meant just for you. There are people around you, friends, family, even strangers, who are thirsty for a word of hope, for a touch from heaven. What if you were the instrument to bring that to them? Imagine the impact if you shared this video. It's not just about increasing views or likes. It's about extending a hand, throwing a lifeline to someone who might be drowning in despair. Every share is like casting a bottle with a message of hope into the vast ocean of the internet, destined to reach exactly who needs it. And what about the prayer requests? My friend, don't underestimate the power of a community united in prayer. When you leave your request, you're not just typing words in a comment. You're inviting an army of intercessors to join you in spiritual battle. It's as if each request is a thread, and together we're weaving a tapestry of faith, hope, and love. But here's the final challenge. Are you willing to be not just a spectator, but an active participant in this wave of blessings? Willing not just to receive, but to give, not just to listen, but to share? What if today was the day that your simple act of sharing or leaving a prayer request triggered a chain reaction of miracles? What could happen if you decided to be an agent of transformation, an ambassador of God's blessings in this world that so desperately needs them? Remember, every time you share this message, every time you intercede for someone, you are literally changing the course of eternity. You are being the hands and feet of Christ in this world. So, my dear friend, as we close this moment, know that you are deeply loved, immensely valued, and incredibly blessed. May the blessings declared over you not only transform your life, but also overflow to everyone around you. And may every person who hears this prayer, every heart touched by these words, experience such a profound encounter with God's love that their lives are never the same. Now go. Be blessed and be a blessing. Share, pray, and watch the miracles unfold before your eyes. Because remember, you are not just a spectator in God's story. You are a protagonist, and your story of blessings is only just beginning. Amen.